Welcome to another episode of the CANARY podcast. I'm your host, Maddie Gilbert, and I have a very special guest with me, Giancarlo. Giancarlo, say hello to everybody. Introduce yourself.
Hello to everybody. Everything Maddie said is correct. My name is
Uh,
Giancarlo, so
Everything I
it's
said is
great.
correct. Everything is good. Uh, Before we begin, I want people to know about you. I first met you, I believe, in Mexico. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's true. In Tapalpa Magic, no, organized by Javier
Yeah, a
Natera,
few years
Dani, Juan
ago.
Diego.
Yeah, a few years ago we met in Mexico, and I didn't really know who you were. And I remember seeing you do magic, and I was totally blown away by the handling, by the thinking, the presentations, just completely beautiful. And I was thinking to myself, how come I never heard of this guy? Wow, he's really good. And ever since then, I've met you a ton of times. We've hung out a ton of times. You are amazing. I want more people to know about you. And you have a few projects that have come out recently. Why don't you tell? This is for magicians, by the way. So if you want to advertise, maybe you put out something with Illusionist and other companies, you can let them know. Hopefully they buy it. Buy it. It's amazing. But tell them some of your more recent things that are available.
Yeah, recently I published with different companies like Illusionist, one project on Ace assemblies. It's like a creative study about the plot of Ace assembly, and also lately with Japanese new platform. There is Impossible Co. And it's just a collection of 6 routines and some techniques. No, really. Apart from this, I published something in. I mean, for the English speaking people, no, because in Spain I publish different things, no, some lecture note, publication on some magazine with Danida Ortiz and stuff. But for the English speaking, I publish a different chapter with my material in Steve Beam's book lately that came out lately. And I have different projects that are going to come out. And it's not, of course, the best moment to publish because I published this stuff I'm talking about during the last year. So it's a year of pandemic and stuff. So it's not the best moment to publish, but I'm happy to publish. I'm always happy to share some ideas and some material.
Very good, very good. And I want to start at the beginning of your life. You are originally from Italy, that's correct?
Yeah, it's true. For now I lived most of my life in Rome, okay, and only in the last 6 years, in this moment, I'm living in Madrid. No? I'm living and doing
So,
my life
how
here.
was it growing up learning magic in Rome? How old were you when you first started learning magic? How was that like, the magic in Italy?
Yeah, really, I never been part of magic societies or this kind of organization. Now, of course, from the moment I came to Spain and I started to lecture and to meet a lot of people, I knew a little bit more this reality. No, but for example, in Rome, I think as many people became I became started to become interested in magic when I was very little. Maybe I don't remember either, no, because I remember seeing magic on television. I was really fascinated. Then my grandfather showed me some card trick, and I was very little, so I started to buy uh, some books like a general magic, some box with different tricks. But I feel like that really the moment I started getting little more serious and getting to know a little bit more about magic was at like 5 years of age, maybe.
So, at
And
five
it
years of
was the
age,
first.
you started taking magic seriously at 5 years old.
No, but I know because I entered in for the first time in a magic shop, and I met a wonderful person. The name is Paco Valente. It was the person that worked at the shop. It's incredible friends, and he was one of my first mentors, because he has an incredible personality, always getting the people into the fantastic world, you know. Maybe he wasn't a professional magician, but everything he did was so magical. I felt really understood the magical experience is most important, that really maybe the quality of the handling, no? In his case, no? Of course it's important the quality in general, no? But he was the first person that introduced me a little bit to this world, and he very fast understood that I was really interested, no? So he started to give me some book, and little by little he started to give me a lot of material. Of course, in that time there was the VHS, and so we like create like a little illegal system. So he would pass me the VHS, I would copy them at home, but little by little, because I had a lot of respect to him, so I didn't ask all the time, like, okay, can you give me this? I just like waited. When I felt he understood that it was the right moment, maybe to give me the next volume of one collection, or maybe the next book, I just accept, no? And so I was very lucky, because he gave me the opportunity to discover a lot of magician, a lot of handling, and to be at the shop demonstrating tricks, practicing, meeting people. So it was a wonderful memories.
Awesome. And so from there, you started practicing magic, and I guess, like most people, performing it for friends and family, maybe at your school. And at what age did you decide this is what I want to do with my life? I want to become a professional magician, because I think for most people it's a it's a it's a very weird decision, you know?
Yes, yes. I took, of course, in many occasions I dreamt about this when I was a little guy, also a little person. I don't know how to say, a little kid. Okay.
How small were you? This big or
very, very small, very small. And no, as a really, this guy has a lot of responsibility. Also, a lot of he had a lot to do with my development and my interest. And also another friend, the name is Luigi Pesce. It's also it's a great person, and for me it's one of the best magician in Italy, although he's not very known, because his personality is not like a personality that want to emerge and want to appear. He stay always a little bit hidden. He's very very good people, very low profile, but he's great. And he showed me, for example, the first close-up magic under my nose. No, I was, wow, no, my like this is a sensation I cannot forget. For example, when he was doing the coins across, and I could hear like pling, the coin arriving. No, for me this was, I still remember this. And for when I saw first time the triumph and thing, no, and really I started in my process when I was learning magic. I start with the manipulation, no, stage manipulation of card manipulation. Okay, after having bought maybe the plastic cups and balls, the rope that transforms into a silk, and some trick like this to get interested. And then I start to study. Like the first thing that I really realized that magic was difficult, a complex art. It was not just like pulling a rope and transforming it into a silk, but with a very young, I was saying how it's possible to hide the cards, how it's possible to develop so much strength. And so getting a lot of time frustrated, for me it's very good to feel like this, because you understand that you have always to pass your limit, no, and always to pass this maybe difficult sensation, and to go to your objective, you know? And so I thought that magician, of course, did this mainly, you know, like stage manipulation or stage magic. But then when I start to discover close up, of course, also it was another moment of change, you know, because also I had the possibility to practice this in a more comfortable way, because in any moment I didn't put, like I say, okay, sit down and now I do a manipulation, no? But you can do with some object. But in all the period I was in Italy, really I didn't have really an idea on how to, or the possibility that the magic offers you, no? Because in Italy there is more the culture, of course, of doing some private show or going in television, no? Becoming like a famous magician in television. There is not many other way, no? Or apparently, if you don't know exactly, no? But I was starting, so I felt that this was the only objective: becoming a famous magician, like the magician I saw, or doing some private party. But then I started to get interesting in different arts. For example, in one moment I started to practice circus, acrobatics, and all this in Rome, and so it was good for me because I was discovering other artistic worlds, no? And so I started with the circus, and then I decided that I want to go deeper in this performing arts, and so I moved to the north of Italy to study circus, but I ended up studying in a physical theater school. And so from there I got in love with physical theater. Okay, like apart from magic was another passion, no? Physical theater. And from there was the moment that really I decided, okay, I want to do this. Okay, I want to bet, I want to make a bet. And so to put me in the condition to really do only this, I moved to Spain, because I knew that, okay, if I go in another country, okay, I am alone, I don't have anything, and so I have to work on this because there's no other protection, no? And so, of course, I knew already some Spanish magician, but not very close, no? I had some relation. I knew Danny some year before. I was a little bit in contact with some message and with some stuff, but not a very close relation, of course. And so I went there and I started to study in another theater school, a physical theater and mime school in Madrid. And from there, really, I started to understand that I wanted to do this, no? Because as I told you, I put myself really in a little difficult situation to move myself, no? To say, okay, now you are here, you have to do this. And of course, in Spain, I was lucky to choose this, because in Spain there is a lot of possibility. As you know, the magic community is very active. There are a lot of small theaters where you can practice close-up magic in front of an audience that pays a ticket, so it's a good condition to perform in magic. And of course, you can work in private events, in lecture, and all this stuff, no? But this is a little bit the journey, no?
And you said something that really strikes me, and the idea of completely diving into something, moving to another place, and doing only one thing, which is magic, which I find, to be honest, is the best way to do something. For me, I think people have different ways of doing things, but when you are somewhere and you have nothing else to do, you have no excuse. I find in life everybody has so much excuses for, oh, I can't, I don't have enough time to, to work on this. I don't have enough time to perform. I don't have enough opportunities to perform. To practice. I do find that that is one of the keys to getting ahead in something, which is just completely devoting yourself to it, where you have nothing else, going on. And so I think you've been able to progress really quickly because of that. And the work that you do is really fine. It's really direct, oftentimes. And it's oftentimes quite bold, I find. Robert Houdin, I believe, said you need two things to be a great magician, and one is incredible boldness and execution. And I find when I see you do magic and you explain it through your lectures and different things, I look at the technique and I think, wow, that's bold. What is it that drew you to doing this type of bold magic? I mean, I know you do tons of subtle things as well, and but it is quite rare, I think, to see somebody doing some of the things that you do.
Yeah, really. I try to. I always, of course, mix different style of technique or presentation. No, I like. I find very interesting to experiment with technique and to try to go really deep in technique and to find great precision and analyze all the movement. Also, for example, the work in the physical theater helped me a lot because through theater, I'm talking specifically about physical theater, not only acting or try to transmit the emotions and stuff. It's also develops a lot of awareness about movement. Okay, and really what we do, all the techniques, but not only the techniques, also the expression, it's I can say that maybe the technique it's 100% movement, but I don't mean only the finger movement and not only the body movement, but the awareness of the whole movement that is happening around you in the space. And for example, of course, we are behaving when doing magic in an artificial way because we are doing stuff that we shouldn't do in this moment. No secret things. We're going to think about stuff that the people don't know. No, and so it's very important for me to understand and to be in control. To not to be in control like. In a very intellectual way, but to understand and to be aware at first, and then of course, as everything in technique, you have to forget about this. But developing this sensitivity is really important. So most of the time, if you are true and sincere with your movement, with your attitude, with your personality, I don't know how to find some synonyms so you understand, because it's not only movement. The movement I mean, it's everything, okay? Everything that it's happening with your body, all right? The breathing, the look, the everything, the coordination, the timing has to do a lot with movement and time. The rhythm has to do, okay? And so most of the techniques you can only discover by exploring the movement, no? And so I think that most of the techniques that maybe can seem bold really has to do more with this than with really like a finger dexterity or something like this, no? But it's have to be, and of course, also one very big influence in this part of my style is, for example, direct influence is Danny Daorti, because I work a lot with him. I live a lot of time with him, and so I can see him every day, every hour, and also without wanting to. And of course, I would like to understand really what's happening in his brain and in his body. You know, I always trying to understand and to discover the secrets that the magician have. You know, when I feel that someone say, when I see some magician, I say, I don't know, I don't understand exactly what is he doing really. No, okay, I can read the books to see the thing, but really what is his secret, no? And I feel this with a lot of magician. I have the luck to be very close to, for example, with Juan Tamariz, no? Always I say, what is really his secrets, no? How is possible his magic works so well? Or for example, Miguel Angel Gea, or most of the magicians that I have around me, no? And this bold part, it comes from Danny, I feel, no, because he uses a lot of these techniques that are based more on the situation and on the movement he's in space, that on the like the isolated technique, no. And so it's amazing, no, what you can do with this.
I find it fascinating what you're saying about what is the secrets. I find that most magicians, when they're talking about magic, they're talking about techniques, they're talking about tricks. But when you say you want to know the secrets, You're not talking about that. You're talking about what is it about them that makes them and their magic special? What is it about them that is connecting to the audience, that's making the audience feel that the magic is real? Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, of course, but in different styles, of course, because
Yeah.
maybe sometimes I feel really, I'm feeling really interested about maybe one element of one magician, because maybe his style is not really going with my style, but I notice something that is really interesting. For example, I can make some example with Danny, of course, apart his way of thinking, no, this incredible, no? His way of thinking and seeing things, and when he looks at one magic trick, how he transforms it in his hands, no, and it appears another trick. So what is this vision, no? Or for example, how is possible he creates this atmosphere when he is performing? Really, what is this? Okay, he's funny, he's okay, but really there is something that is under all this, no? And for example, it's different with Miguel Angel Gea. With Miguel Angel Gea, for me, it's fascinating the way he can translate different concepts to magic. No? I say, how it's possible he can take something from the painting or the art world and translate it into magic? How it's possible to make this connection so precise? Or for example, he lately he's writing a lot of books. Okay, maybe I don't talk about this, but incredible material. And also I say, how is possible he can think about this thing and understand so well the language of magic, no? Because to translate something in magic, you have to understand perfectly this language. What are the elements that only magic has, and the way to express yourself about with magic. And so I can make many examples with different magicians, no? Like many secrets, many elements I notice, and I would like to understand. Or for example, with Jan Frisch, no, it's incredible. Also, it's a great friend, and when I see his work and when he's explaining me some ideas, I say, but what is he thinking? No, what is this language he's creating? How where does it come the inspiration for this? I don't understand anything, no? And when I feel lost, is the best moment to activate myself, no? Because it's always with a, now I say I use the word the trauma, no? But it's not really a strong trauma, no? But when you have a little trauma or something that puts you in a difficult moment, it's the best way to activate and to find solution, no? And so I love this moment when I meet a magician and he put me like in crisis, like I don't understand anything, no? I say, I don't know what's happening. Now I start to get to try to understand him, no? And of course, in this way you discover a lot of things about yourself, because with the people you have a good connection, always they have a part of yourself, no, in some place. And so of course, by discovering different elements, no, you are discovering all the time yourself, no, and where some limits that maybe you never passed, and very interesting things.
When you one of the most incredible things to me about magic is you how you can have all these guys and they're all great, but they're all so different. They're so unique and they have their own style. And I think it's so fascinating to me that question of style. You know, how does one develop their style? How do they grow into their own style? I think it takes, personally, I think it takes years and a lot of experimentation and a lot of work. But how is it for you when you see somebody who has a totally new style and they're doing magic and you love the tricks that they're doing, and then maybe you think, oh, I want to do something similar, or you have an idea. I've seen you do very beautiful classic tricks, and you do them even though sometimes you're using very traditional techniques. It feels like it's your style. There's always, little touches, little elements, and I'm like, oh wow, that's how Giancarlo does it. How do you approach when you see something that you want to do you first see it in your imagination, or you do research and you say, oh, I don't, maybe I want to make it more impossible? What's that approach to you of working on a piece of magic and turning it into one of your own pieces?
Yeah, I think there are really a lot of elements, no? Also because I cannot be like a very sure in this moment because I'm learning. I feel that I'm always learning, you know. So I'm not like a master. I can say, okay, the best method is this, or to find your style, you should do like this, because I don't know. I a lot of time I feel I don't know anything about magic, no, as a lot of people that is learning, and you always discovering that you don't know anything. It's very big, this world. But for example, one way I can work on a piece of magic is, yes, let's say it's a combination of different things. It depends what I'm searching. For example, if I want to inspire, or if I want to create some trick that is inspired from some old piece of magic, for example, inspired by off-Cincer magic or Veroden magic, I like to research, okay, to go very deep into everything I can find, and to study a lot, because I feel like a sensation of respect. No, I say, okay, I cannot do like the first thing, because this comes from a master, and this master built something on top of which they built another thing, and built and built and built. So thanks to this guy, I can present this piece of magic. So I feel respect. I don't take a very powerful thing and I do it like this, no, because it's very powerful. He created it, and so I cannot ask the permission to him, because he died a lot of time ago. And so for me, it's like the permission is this, no, for myself is to research, to study a lot, to try to understand. Or not to understand, but sometimes to imagine. If there are not a lot of material, written material, I try to imagine how this guy would behave or would present the magic. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just start to visualize. Maybe, you know, like the sensation that the books gives me can inspire me a little bit imagining this. And then after this, I always start creating, not always, but many very often, I start from the external life, no, for the external appearance. So really, I imagine, I say, I would like to do this, okay. I show four aces. I say to one person, okay, which ace do you like? Spades, okay, put this, take the ace of spades and put it between your hands, okay. Now I take three aces like this, they're vanished. Now open your hand, boom, the four aces have joined, okay. Maybe I imagine this, okay, and then I say, okay, I like this idea. Let's see how can, if I can get very close to this, or maybe I can adapt, because I don't find a good method to get to resolve this. But always I search this. I search that the effect is very clear, very impossible, and of course at the same time, already most of the time I'm thinking also without wanting to, with a method a little bit, no? Sometimes, because I say, okay, I want to give this clean appearance of this effect. Okay, so already without thinking about any particular method, more or less, I know. I say, okay, maybe here I can use some gaffed cards, or maybe in one moment I say, okay, I want to avoid to use a gaff card, only because I want to explore this, not because I think it's right or wrong, no. So many creative process, but most of the time I try that the magic I do, it's very clear to follow, very direct. There is no a lot of things that maybe they can disturb visually or a level of comprehension. And then also I like, of course, the impossibility, no, like as impossible, like I try to make it as much more impossible that I can, no. And for this, my magic, I noticed that also likes the magician also like I always think for the first about the audience, the lay audience, of course, that have to appreciate what I do, but then my style also it likes to magician like this because they see that the technique is good, maybe the construction is interesting, or this version is interesting because I changed something, you know. But really there are many creative processes, depends. Sometimes also I can start from a technique. I say, okay, I discovered this technique, now I want to build something around it to see if it really is good or not. No, maybe there's some experiment, something I think about for doing in a show, some things I just think about to develop some concepts or different thing. But for me, the external life is the most important, no? What you see from outside of the trick.
Yes. It's very interesting. I think it's very interesting, the external life, and I think how people perceive the external life. I think ultimately you are correct. The external life is very important, even though sometimes that can be manipulated. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, so many people have heard about the magic community in Spain, and not a lot of people have had the opportunity to go to Spain. I've been to Spain, some other magicians have been to Spain. You moved to Madrid. Can you tell us about the magic community in Madrid? What is it like living in a place with so many magicians, but not only magicians, great magicians? And you also have great magicians very close to you by train, by everything. How tell us about that?
Yeah, of course, it's amazing. If you love magic, it's amazing, you know. And if you love to go deep, you know, and you love the art of magic, not only maybe you say, okay, I love magic, but really what you want is only to work and to earn some money. You know, that's also is good because everyone has his interest, his needs, and everything. No, but if you like the art of magic, no. This is great because, as you already told, there are a lot of magicians, and it's very easy to meet and to share magic. This is something that, for example, in other countries, for example, in Italy, talking about my experience, I felt when I saw maybe when I got in some circles and some magic association, no. Maybe sometimes it happens that someone brought me maybe to see one lecture or to go there. I felt another sensation. I'm talking also about years ago because now this the Spanish style also how you say
Spreading?
it's going around the it's spreading around the world. Also this fact that is very fascinating about sharing and stuff, little by little is spreading. But the experience I had in Italy was more the sensation of the secret, no, the importance of the secret, but really without understanding really what is the secret about, no, because for me the secret in magic is necessary to create the impossible, because the secret uh, we are talking also at these times it's very difficult to keep any secret, no, but the main importance of the secret for me is to create the sensation of impossible. So the spectator doesn't have to know the secret, because if he knows how the thing is done, he doesn't leave the sensation of impossible. No, it's another sensation, maybe interesting. If you can explain the secret to a spectator, maybe it's an interesting moment for him because he discovers something very clever, no, and say, wow, this is very stimulating, no. But the secret for me is this. Or for example, if you, as for example in the old times, no, when someone created like an exclusive illusion and other people wants to steal this, maybe you are interested of keeping the secret for you. But most of the time in magic circles, maybe there is one guy that knows like a basic mathematic trick, but he's the only one in the circle that does this, and so he don't want to lose this privilege. Also because maybe he knows 3 or 4 tricks, and if the other people start to do in the same circle, he's not interesting anymore, no. So this conception of the secret, really, I don't like, because it's create only tension between people. Like, okay, I show this double lift, but don't do it, please, because
Yeah.
I'm doing here in this circle. But of course, this has to do, yeah, with the education in this field, with each people, because no all the people is like this, of course. But
It
it's true
is
that,
so, for me, it is so interesting because when I got into magic and I was thinking about as I was going on through magic, I was looking at secrets in different ways. We've always had people, lecturing and writing books and making DVDs and VHS teaching magic. And then with the internet, I was seeing a lot of people putting stuff on the internet, and then I was worried about it because, like even if you type in oh, I want to see this trick from David Blaine, and you type it in YouTube, you see the first clip, it will be David Blaine doing it in the show, and then right underneath, you'll have some kid in his room exposing the secret of the trick. And I always thought, like, oh, this is so bad. But the more I think about it, I think it does matter, but I think it also doesn't matter at all. And the reason why, and for me, that's a big shift in opinion. I had a very different opinion before, but the reason that I say that is because there's no way to protect that secret, but it really isn't a secret at the same time. Knowing how to lift up, two cards is not the secret of the trick. It's about how do you make people have that sensation of magic where they feel that there's one situation, they're certain that it's that one situation, and then you show that there's a completely different situation. There's some sort of a magical contrast. For me, that those are the real secrets of magic, but that's something that a lot of people, even in magic, aren't really interested in because I think it's more of a. I think it's a very real thing, but I think for most people, it's just a very abstract and theoretical thing, so they can't grasp it. And because they can't grasp it, they're just not interested. So, they don't understand they don't even understand the effect, even if they know the secret.
yeah, and also because the secret is always there, and if one person is only interested in discovering, he could tear the stuff away from your hand in any moment. Okay, maybe you say, okay, do you want, boom, let me see, two cards, okay, this is the secret, no?
Ah,
So
a double face.
yeah, or something like this, no? Or say, okay, empty your pocket now, no? Maybe someone tell you like this. But of course, the real work is, of course, if you have like a violent person, I don't know what you should do, okay? But if you feel that this person has this protection, we always develop a spectator, because of course magic is something very violent for the brain of any human being, because it like put, pulls you away from what you know, and you feel lost. So it's very dangerous, really, to live experience like this. Imagine having a person in front of you that you don't understand. No, you say, this guy could do anything in this moment, and I'm not prepared because I don't know his language. Okay, it's like when you go to another culture, you feel a little in danger, because you don't know how to behave in this situation. You feel like an alert, no, like in tension. And so for this reason, the people is always saying, but yeah, but I imagine it's tricks, no? Yes, or you're very fast, it's good, because they want to relax this tension, because they feel in danger, and so they have to tell themselves, okay, this is not some god or some devil or some stuff like this. It's very ancient feelings, and so you say, okay, I explain anything with the rational part. But really, this is our work, no? To create the mystery, the sensation of mystery of the impossible. No, not only the impossible, like boom, I fool you, yeah, bam, 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 you don't understand anything, Okay, I'm of course you don't understand anything because this is not a good feeling. But the good feeling for me in magic is the mystery of the impossible, the mystery of the representation of the impossible. No, you say, wow, this is not only impossible, but it's very beautiful to see the representation of the impossible. So this is the feeling, and for this reason, if they know I could do a top change, of course, one thing is doing in the right moment, well done. Okay, so they won't see because they don't have any experience of magic. Also, they know that I can change one card like this, but if they don't expect me to, or they don't feel anything strange, they won't understand anything of the stuff they saw on YouTube, a pass or anything like this. It's impossible to detect. And this part that it's always inside, that they know we are using maybe the technique they saw on YouTube, it's our job to take away this part from the spectator, no, for me.
Let me ask you, because this I think cuts to the heart of the matter, which is why are we doing magic? But the question specifically to you is, let's say you have an audience that's just seen you do a show, and let's say you did a 45-minute show or a 1 hour show, whatever the length of your show is.
Mm-hmm.
When the show is finished and the people walk out of the theater and they go home, what is it that you want them to be feeling, or what do you want them to be leaving with as a sensation?
This also it depends on. For example, I like to experiment with different ideas. Now, also, for example, with thanks to the influence by Miguel Angel Gea, he is one of the greatest thinkers in magic and creative people that exist in the world for me, because he's always trying to evolve the language, no? Because most of, for example, one example is we associate most of the time magic with comedy, okay? Because it's what we see most of the time, no? Comedy, so maybe you say, you ask to one person, have you seen this magician? Yeah, he was very funny, you know. And you say, but what is the most astonishing thing you saw? You say, I don't know, but it was so funny that he made a lot of jokes. It was very funny. We laughed a lot, no? If you ask, yeah, but some impossible moment, like you felt really, you say, I don't know, in some moment he had maybe a handkerchief with something, then a bill appeared in the lamp. I don't know exactly how, but it was so funny, you know. And for example, a lot of time we associate comedy with magic. And of course, there are many other places. For example, in music, the music is not only heavy metal, of course, no. It's not only like for jump. Music can go a lot of ways, no. It's incredible the sensation that music can create. And so, for example, the work of Miguel Angel Gea, one part of his work, there is already a very big part. It's this, no, understanding different sensation. The problem is that sometimes it's frustrating because the people is not prepared, no, but not because the people have some problem, because also magic is relatively young art. Of course, it's very ancient practice, no, in the human being, but like as a performing style, and when people start to really to think about maybe the art or some dynamics, it's not so ancient, no, this moment. And so, of course, the people is educated to see one kind of magic, no. And if one time in your show you want to try something that goes a little bit out of the imaginary, sometimes it's hard because maybe at your show you want to maybe do some more deep message or something. Maybe there are coming a lot of children, a lot of families, because they say, okay, a magician, okay, it's to laugh, it's to have fun. And so maybe you cannot really express yourself most of the time, but in the way you would like, no, to go in another directions, okay. But really, what I I love magic. I love the language of magic. No? For me, it's really important to be aware of what are we doing in any moment we do magic. But for me, the element of the impossible, it's the main element, because it's the element that characterized magic from other arts. Because if not, I could play maybe a guitar song, I could sing, I could do a lot of things, and maybe do one magic trick in the whole show, but this is not a magic show, because if the percentage of magic is like 10%, we cannot call it a magic show. No? Magic show is where the impossible is the main sensation. Of course, then you can give other sensation. No? So first, for me, it's very important that the people feel amazed, feel astonished, feel the impossible. Okay, and of course, then also deliver different kind of messages. In some moment maybe more emotional, some moment more crazy, some moment more funny. But for me, for example, lastly, because lately, because of course I many different shows. In some moment I'm interested more in one thing. In some moment I'm interested in experimenting other stuff. But for example, lately I love to talk about magic in my show because I love the idea that the people can understand really what I'm saying now a little bit, start to understand that magic can communicate a lot of feelings, no? And so in some moment, I'm very explicit also in this. I just tell him, I say, you see that magic can express different feelings. I don't see this phrase, but the concept is this, no? And so I also like the sensation when the people goes out from a show that they're starting to become in love with magic, no? And to understand a little bit more about this art, not only have fun or say, oh, this guy is great, wow, no? This is, of course, is good for the ego and for all these things, no? But I love this this element, no? To try to little by little, like educate a little bit people about understanding that magic is very complex, no? And very important art, very beautiful art, no? So sometimes I talk about the old master and explain a little bit the master, so they feel that there is a magic is not going there and do one joke, no? It comes from a whole story. There are people that are geniuses, as in other arts. There are masters, there are expert people, there are incredible people. So for me, it's an interesting element to communicate most of the time.
Yeah, I find for me one of the things that I realize as I've been doing this longer and longer is just the value of communicating your inner world with people and getting people to connect to you as a person through your inner world. And what I mean by that is whatever it is going on inside you, whether that's your worldview and your beliefs, and you don't have to do that through a story. I find sometimes I just do it through a line in the show. I was doing a routine last night, and I had this whole thing with this card is going to become your good luck card. Everybody follow along. We're all doing, the routine together. And at the end of the routine, I tell them, you know, if you got your good luck card, put it in your wallet, put it in your pocket. I don't know if it's going to give you good luck. I really don't know. But I do hope it gives you good luck, not only today, but you have good luck for the rest of your life. And it's just, that to me is the idea of transmitting part of who you are to the audience. And it's not telling it, there's ways to do it with stories and everything, but sometimes you can give people such a sensation. And for me, the sensation is we're doing a routine. I'm acknowledging that we're doing a routine. It's a good luck routine. But at the same time, even though we all end up with our good luck card, I'm not going to tell them this card is going to give you good luck for the rest of your life. I'm telling them maybe it will. I hope it does. I hope you have good luck. I'm not in control. The card's not in control, but I do hope you have good luck because I want good things for you. And to me, that's
Yeah, also because in this way it becomes interesting because they can hear you talking like as yourself. Because if you just make up a line that that will give a standing ovation, and say, now you have the good luck for the rest of your life. Thank you, everyone. Wow. But really, what you are saying is that you are talking to them. Really, you are not trying to go to direct to the objective, like in a very cold way, And for me, and also this, what you were saying, I was thinking about the previous question about the style. For me, the only way to little by little finding our own style is to be sincere, because being sincere and telling stuff that you want to tell in this moment, okay, also without calculating a lot, like this will work, this won't work, because we have many occasions to do magic. It's not always like the final of a competition. I don't know, no? Sometimes we're doing to the friends, sometimes to the drunk people, I don't know. And so in this way, sometimes it will be right, sometimes it will not work, but this is the best way to little by little create our style, because we understand what works of our personality, what doesn't. Because if we only think about the objective and we say, okay, I saw the other magician present this trick like this, so I tried to do like this because it works. Okay, that's done. Now the next one, okay, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. Okay, maybe you work a lot in one moment, but you never discover yourself because you never really show yourself, no?
I think you're right, and I think you have to be sincere when you're doing magic. I think it's impossible to manipulate people. I really think it's impossible. I think people try to manipulate people emotionally in shows with their stories and their script. And one of the things that I see happen a lot is somebody will want to communicate a really profound story, and it's a real story, and they'll write it and they'll perform it, and it's beautiful. It's maybe beautiful for the first 50 shows, and then they start going out on stage and they say the story, but they don't feel it anymore because they're bored of the story and they don't feel it anymore. And even though the story is true, it feels dead. I've seen this with many magicians. And one guy who I saw, which really made me think, was Tony Robbins, who's a motivational speaker here in North America. And what he does in his events is fascinating. He has many different things that he says on stage, and these are long events. They're all day, all night, and he's talking for hours, and they have breaks and stuff. And what he'll do before he goes on stage is, when he needs to be super excited and he knows this is a part where he needs to be super excited, he has a treadmill backstage and weights. And so he'll run on the treadmill, he'll lift weights, he'll get really energized. He's listening to music, he's pumping up, pumping up. And then he'll go out and be high energy. So he's not faking it. He's really gets himself in that mood so he can go and he can transmit that emotion because he's feeling that emotion. And there's other parts where he has to talk and he has to tell a story, a very sad story about his childhood or something that happened to him in his life. And it's very interesting when you see him backstage, he will go in a room alone and he'll take out a photo album and he'll look at photos of when he was younger and he'll look at that story and he'll really think about it, really, really think about it so that it's real to him. So he's not just remembering the script and he's not just saying it, he's feeling those emotions. So then when he comes out, he can really be in that emotional state where he's able to deliver that the words that he's delivering, but in a way that's connecting with people because he's feeling it. He's not just saying it. And for me, I've always found that in magic, people write stuff. It can be very sincere when they write it, and then oftentimes they, for whatever reason, they don't feel it when they're performing it, and it doesn't. You can tell right away that it's not connecting with people. Do you find the same thing?
Yeah. Of course, there are many different situations, but for example, one thing that is very important of what you're saying is to express something. Of course, you have to before you have to understand what do you want to express. If you really
Yes.
want, you have to understand what. It's not just going as we were talking earlier, like go to the objective in a very easy way because you understand anything. You're just applying something you see or you heard. I don't know. You say, okay, the people is applauding. Wow, I'm very good. But this is nothing. This is nothing. The main thing is to really have in mind. I understand what you're going to what you want to express, and this is very difficult. This is very, very difficult,
But
because I
do
noticed
you
this.
but do you always
Tell
have
me.
to understand what you want to express? I think you're right. I think you should, but I don't know.
Understand, not in intellectual way, and not understanding like intellectual, but you have
But
to
for me personally, I feel like even if you don't understand, if you go out there and you're sincere, and I think it overcomes sometimes your intentions. Uh, I think there's something very interesting when you are sincere. You don't need to you don't need to work as hard if that makes sense. You know, there's something that Juan Tamariz does before one of the last tricks in the show, and he talks about his three um, his three heroes in magic. He talks about Fraxin, and he talks about Ascanio, and he talks about who's the other guy he
Juan
talks about?
Anton.
Juan
Juan
Anton. Juan
Anton.
Anton. And he talks about each of them very short, very sincere. For me, I mean, I know Juan Tamariz. I know he's said that many times, but it doesn't matter. He could, you know that when he's saying it, he's not memorizing a script. You know that he's just speaking from the heart, even if he planned it before. Oh, I'm going to say this at this part of the show. There's a level of reality to it where all of a sudden it just draws people in, and it shifts the whole relationship in between. Like, yeah, we saw this guy, he was very funny, he was this, he did, great things. Oh, but wow, this is a real person, and now he's sharing something very special with us. Even though Juan Tamariz can do that in every single show, it works in every single show because it's real, it's sincere.
Yeah, but this was a little bit my intention to say when I talk about understanding. It's not like understanding from an external point of view, but understanding what are you saying. Why are you saying this? You really feel this? You are interested in saying this? It's I mean this, not being only like automatic to go to an objective. I don't know. I cannot express really this concept, but I mean this
Say it
really
in
when I say
Italian.
understanding.
Say it in Italian.
Now in this moment I cannot talk any language, because I'm thinking in Spanish, thinking in Italian, talking in English. I don't know what I'm doing, but you can put subtitle in Japanese later if you want. You can write you can write Japanese, but but I mean this really. Understanding is what you're saying with this example, no? Because he knows what he's saying in this moment. It's not someone told, okay, I give you this phrase and you can tell this in your show. No? I say, thank you, this will be very good. He's really feeling this. He knows why he's talking, because in this moment it's a good moment to say, or he really feels this. Most simple looking stuff is the most difficult, no, in art and in life, no. Wait, maybe the internet is no, it's good.
No, I can hear you. It was a little choppy, but it's fine. And uh, I,
Okay.
yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody, relax. It's the internet. One, we could
Relax,
talk.
don't get angry. Wait, I okay.
We could talk for hours about this, and
Wait
I'm sure.
one second. Can I try to fix this? Sorry,
Yes,
because
yes,
it's
of
I
course.
don't hear you very well. I try to fix in 1 second. One
Okay.
second.
In
Let's
the
see.
meantime, let me tell you a little bit what we're doing here. I've been doing this podcast for I started a while ago, and I was doing episodes irregularly. It was just me talking. And now I am bringing different friends from around the world to talk. And my hope is we can build this into a real community where magicians can talk, they can discuss really important things in magic, not just, oh, what's the newest trick? What's this? But really discuss important things. And we're doing an event. I started a magic club. I've had a magic club before in my life, but I started a new magic club, and Giancarlo is doing a very special event with us later this month. So if you want to hear us continue this conversation and talk more about techniques and ideas, we'll be doing that later this month. We'll have all the information as to how you can join us. And I think with that, Giancarlo's internet is working again. I don't know. Is it good?
Yes, maybe. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Maybe you're seeing like a shit,
Yeah,
but for me it's good. I don't know.
no, it's good. Um, Before we end, I wanted to ask you a few questions. These are questions that I'm going to ask you very quickly, and you're going to try to respond as quickly as you can. They're very hard questions. So, do you prefer cards with indexes or no indexes?
No indexes, no
No
indexes.
indexes. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I have a card that I make, hidden leaves, and also affirmation, no indexes. You guys can find these on
Wow, I can't
amazing,
believe
amazing. And hopefully, when things are back to normal and we're doing real shows again, I can finally print a deck in red. I know you've been waiting for me to print a deck in red for so long, but I haven't been able to do it yet. I haven't forgotten. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah.
one
I
day.
can't wait.
Next question. Who is the best mentalist you've ever seen?
I've ever seen live.
Ever, either TV or live or whatever.
Uh, in TV, it's Darren Brown for me.
Mhm.
I don't watch a lot of TV shows because for me they are difficult to follow through the screen. Of course, I prefer to be live.
El
When I
Mango
see
Pop?
maybe
Do you watch El Mango Pop?
no, I don't. I don't really like this style. No, I respect him because he's working a lot, but I don't like the style, and also I don't know. It's not my kind of magic. No, but for example, in television, yes, it's Darren Brown, and live it's Anthony Blake. He's from Madrid, and I have the occasion to see him perform like in very intimate situation in bars and stuff like this, and it's amazing. Wow.
Amazing. I would love to see. I want to come back to Spain and see so many shows. I want to see so many shows. Who is your favorite? What is your favorite illusion?
Illusion, like a general illusion, or you're talking about big illusions?
Big illusions. What is your favorite big illusion? I know these are weird questions for you because you're a close-up guy, but I want to throw you off a little.
Big illusion. I don't know. I don't know. I can remember as a kid, the first time I saw like a very bad levitation, it was incredible for me.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And what is it that you want to do in magic? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now, 20 years from now? What is a goal or dream that you have that you would like to uh, make come true one day? Maybe I can help you. Maybe somebody who's listening can help you. I don't know. But what is something, a dream that you have that you haven't done yet, something in your life that you want to make happen that you haven't made happen yet?
I would like to do like a giant tattoo of a Viking on my back.
For real?
Very, very big. Yeah, but maybe, yes, in 20 years, something like this.
Why in 20 years?
Because now I'm not very sure if I want the whole back painted.
Good, good. It's a good thing to wait 20 years. Awesome. Thank you so much, Giancarlo. I'm looking forward to later this month when you're going to be in our little magic club with us. If people want to find you online, how do they find you online? What's your website, your social media, all that stuff? And also, if you have different projects or something that you want to sell or promote, how can people find that? We'll put all the links down below, but tell us.
Yeah, you can search. My name is Giancarlo Scalia. It's difficult to spell. Maybe you can put in some moment. I can spell it very quickly. Giancarlo. This is the name, Giancarlo, and then the surname is Scali. I feel really stupid.
And we're gonna put it in writing on the screen as well.
Like with the pronunciation of the, I don't know what's happening with the spelling, like M. No, but you can check on Instagram Giancarlo Scalia, or on Facebook, and on you can find on the internet in some places. As I told you, I didn't publish a lot now for the English speaking people, but of course in the future there will be more.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Giancarlo, and I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Thank you, Madi. It was a pleasure. A big beso en la boca,
A
as you know.
big hug. Everybody, thank you for watching, and we will see you again shortly in our next episode with another special guest. Thanks again, and until next time, adios.